Hi, I'd like to share with you some tips for active reading, how you get through dense, complex, or dry material in a way that leaves you with notes that are useful and help you be successful in college classes. This also applies to listening to videos. Sometimes they're very boring, they're very long, and it takes a lot to pay attention. So I hope this helps you. I've found it helps me. So, what is the problem? The problem is that we're all used to browsing the internet to find our information. And we've learned that just a little bit of soundbite or the power browse means that we're able to just quickly look through things and get what we think we need. We've lost the art of getting information from books or paper and from listening deeply to things like longer video lectures. Yet it's more important than ever that business people can read a wide variety of things thoroughly, frequently, and for deeper understanding. When I work with business leaders, you can really tell it's a huge differentiator, the leaders that read deeply and the leaders that just scan with the power browse. I find I have to work harder to read as well as I did 20 years ago. There was an article in the Atlantic Monthly a long time ago, 2008, and it asked the question, is Google making us stupid? But it was such a good article, and it taught me that our brains are changing, and it explained to me why I might have more trouble reading than I did 20 years ago in graduate school when I read and read and read. There's another issue. You want to be efficient with your time. So you guys are busy. And if you're going to sit down to read or watch a video, you want to be sure that it's going to be worth it and it's going to help you with your assignments in class. If you don't feel that way, it can feel very overwhelming or kind of like, what's the point? There's too much reading, too many videos. I can't keep up. I don't know what to do. So, this is a technique to give you a successful path. Um, it should teach you to read for comprehension to avoid becoming stupid from Google, and it works. So try it this term and see if it helps you too. Here's what you need: you need your book or a video lecture or article in front of you, like you see in this picture. You need a blank notebook, a blank pad of paper. I like to have a new spiral notebook for each new course so that you keep everything right in one notebook. You need a pen that you enjoy writing with, a quiet space where you're not going to be bothered, and also uninterrupted time where you can set a block of time for doing this. If you find it's hard to keep your attention, you can also set a timer and do it in 30-minute increments. Give yourself a break every 30 minutes if you just need that kind of help with the discipline of sitting down to do this. In step one, you've gathered your materials together in your quiet space. If you are reading a chapter or an article, go through and pull out the section headings and write them on this sheet of paper like I have here in the picture. Just leave some space in between so that you can leave room to fill it in later. You can just guess at the amount of space. So between your section headings, you'll leave some space. And then read the first section carefully. After you finish the first section, hide the book, close the book, flip over the article so you can't see it anymore, and stop for a minute and think, what did I just read? What does it mean? What are the key points? How would I describe it briefly to others who haven't read it? So, this is where you test yourself in a sense. What have you just read? And let me tell you something, you may be surprised to find out you can't answer these questions because you just don't remember. You weren't very focused, but that's normal. You just go back, open the book, or start the video lecture again and listen to that section. And it's funny, once you do that the second time, your brain is so much more primed to be vigilant and pay attention to what did I just read? What does it mean? What are the key points? And how would I describe it? All right, once you're able to write that, go ahead and write that. Jot that down in these notes under that section heading, and then move to the next section. So you want to write in the most clear language possible that summary. If you can't remember, read it again. Keep putting the book away, as I mentioned, to recall it completely from memory. If you're looking at the book while you're writing the summary, you're not triggering the part of your brain that's going to help you remember this. So it's very important that you aren't looking at the book when you write the summary. Okay? Set the reading aside, turn off the video, set the article aside, turn it over so you can't see it, and force yourself to call up from free recall. We call that free recall, not recognition, the major points of that section. And just keep repeating this until you feel you have a very nice summary of that section, then move on to the next section. So, this may feel like it takes a little bit of time, and it's true. You have to slow down your reading a little bit, but the beauty is it is the most efficient way to take in this information. Because when you're done, you will have a group of meaningful notes that came out of your brain and your handwriting, and it will be most useful to you for the rest of the class. So, the results, now you have good notes from the reading, which will help you with studying, for exams, for class discussions. It will help you with case analysis and other assignments. You've also caught yourself when you're reading without really comprehending or thinking. So if you've ever read a whole chapter and afterwards you're like, that was a waste of time, I don't even know what I read, you've caught yourself early in that trap. You've used a brain trick by writing these points down by hand. Generally, the research shows us that writing by hand is a much better way to get the neural pathways of your memory entrenched. If you type, unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be as helpful as writing by hand. You also now have a structure or a method to your reading, which can give you hope. It helps you keep attention, keep on track. You can recall the material and you end up with some nice notes. And that can be very hopeful if you're feeling overwhelmed or like you just can't comprehend things. And also, even though it takes longer to do this, it takes a commitment of time. You're going to be more efficient with your time because you're going to have these notes that are going to be helpful to refresh your memory, and you're going to have committed more of the reading to memory than if you just read without comprehension and had no notes. So I call this active reading. I find it's extremely important in my study, even myself today as a professor. I often read in this way in order to enhance my comprehension and be most efficient with my time. I hope this helps you. Let me know if you have any questions in the course questions area in Canvas. Take care.